welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, July 10th. I'm J.E. Skeet, and joining us here on the Zoom, we got Tass Mellis.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, Tassie? We got the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Last but not least today, making the magic happen, is J.D.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. No Trey Kirby today. The bearded one is getting in a little getaway with the family before the restart in Orlando. I believe they're staying in a yurt tonight. Trey Kirby in a yurt.
Easy to picture, if I'm being honest. Very easy to picture.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So, no TK today. He might be gone for a couple shows next week, but he might be able to call in as well. So we'll figure that out when we get there. He was on yesterday's fun podcast, new squad episode, where we drafted our best Disney starting 5 basketball teams from categories like Mickey Mouse Legends and Disney Princesses and Marvel superheroes and a whole lot more. Been some great responses on Twitter. People drafting their own teams, calling out some of our selections, some of our oversights, to be honest. The big one to me, JD, everyone's like, how did nobody take Thanos in the Disney villain section? Fair.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't think of it in that. And as he didn't think of him as a Disney villain,
right?
I guess,
right.
But he is.
He is. I know. I said that to Nora after we finished recording. I'm like, oh my God, no one took Thanos in the villain category. But there are some hilarious selections. I see some great No Dunks fans whipping together some graphics of our teams. They're sharing them on Twitter, and we're trying to retweet them and stuff and getting them up on Instagram. There's even one of those, you have $15 to draft your Disney team from the selections we made, which is very funny. So go check out that podcast if you haven't. Everybody's still feeling pretty good about their teams. Tass, have you had a day to think about your squad?
Yeah, I feel really good. One thing that was overlooked was JD having overlooked the Goofy movie. Did you watch it last night, JD?
A Goofy movie? Yeah, no. I'm never going to watch that thing.
You gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch
People
it. Get
were
your
pumped
kids
about
to
that
watch
pick,
it.
Tass. There was a lot of, I saw, thumbs up for Max Goof.
That's me tapping into the younger generation.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
There are some people saying, how didn't you select this person? How'd you overlook this character? I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. There are names I've never heard of. What movie are they from? Where are they from? I guess.
I got a good comment from Brent Ferrari on Twitter. He says, I'll give you Goofy challenging some shots, but how many times will he accidentally block his own team shot? Your squad on Shaqtin' a fool the most. I've got to say, pretty accurate. I will say that.
That was one of our, I think, one of our most enjoyable squad episodes.
Yeah.
So go check that out. We posted it on Thursday. Squad Disney Starting 5 is what that's called. All right. Before we get to the up-down report today, a few other No Dunks listeners wrote in, they emailed in, they tweeted in to ask whether we planned to discuss the recent comments by Steven Jackson, where he supported the anti-Semitic comments from NFL player Deshaun Jackson. For those of you that haven't been following this story, Deshaun misattributed an anti-Semitic trope to Hitler and said that Jewish people plan to extort America and achieve world domination. Deshaun has since apologized for this post and him sharing this. I believe he's twice now apologized. But meanwhile, Steven Jackson, I know it's confusing with both Jacksons here, but Steven Jackson, who is easily one of the most prominent NBA voices after the murder of George Floyd, fixture of Black Lives Matter protests, he not only agreed with Deshaun, but then in a series of sort of weird Instagram videos seemed to quadruple down on the hateful comments. I know on Wednesday in an interview with CNN, Steven Jackson, he sort of apologized too. I say sort of because I would describe it as a muddled apology, but Tass, let's address this, either as long or as quickly as we want here, but it makes sense. People writing in to say, what do you think?
Very unfortunate, especially coming from Steven Jackson. It's unfortunate when anyone supports a conspiracy theory about an entire race of people. Mm-hmm. And Steven Jackson, who was so vocal and so eloquent, coming out and trying to get people to understand the Black experience, comes out and throws this blanket statement, these conspiracy theories that have been around forever about the Jewish people. It's sad, it's wrong. People get caught in these conspiracy tunnels, these rabbit holes all the time. Sometimes it's really hard to get out of those conspiracy rabbit holes. That's why things trend on Twitter. These certain things trend on Twitter every couple of weeks, or the YouTube videos. hey, have we been to the moon? I mean, conspiracy theories are real. They're hard to get out of. I understand that. But Steven Jackson hopefully will understand his ways, and he may already be coming out of that hole. That's all you can hope for people who go down these rabbit holes and make these mistakes, because it happens. It really does happen, not to make an excuse for Steven Jackson. It's very disappointing that he couldn't see it in a different light. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes when people go down these certain paths, you just got to try and hope and reel them in. You can't just, I don't know, degrade them. You just, they are people too. They made a mistake, and Steven Jackson, it is unfortunate because he was telling us one thing about a certain race of people. Now all the other direction he turns and says, hey, the Jewish people are trying to undermine our society. Right. Let's slow the roll, Steven Jackson. And you said he issued an apology, and I think, what did he meet with a rabbi yesterday as well? I think he is trying to right his way.
Yeah, that's right. I think, look, he has said that his words were more related to the Philadelphia Eagles treatment of Deshaun Jackson in juxtaposition to how they responded to Riley Cooper, who was a white player, if you remember, back in 2013, who used the N-word. If you buy that explanation, okay, but at the same time, Steven Jackson, you're pushing these anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, this hate. So that's the weird part to me. You said, quote, Deshaun was speaking the truth. When you say that, I think everybody is likely going to say, well, you're talking about this Hitler post on Instagram? It wasn't even Hitler, for crying out loud. That sounds like what you're saying, even though he has said, no, I'm talking about this private conversation the two of them had, Deshaun and Steven, which he sort of explained later. But yeah, I'm with you, Taz. It's sad, it's hurtful, it's honestly downright embarrassing to hear Steven Jackson sort of conflate anti-Semitism with his very noble message of racial justice. You just hope that he can learn from this, and it appears that he's trying to, at least. Though I will say some of these apologies, they come off of him still trying to blame people for being offended by the bigotry that he was sharing. He did share. So, yeah, Lee, I don't know if you have anything to add to this.
Yeah, no, but basically just sort of echoing what you're saying there, like he's been a very prominent voice here in the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's been great to see. He's been out there. He's been, really trying to get the message across, and then this is a very contradictory thing that he's doing by then sort of tarnishing one race with one particular stigmatism. And that's the exact thing we're trying to get rid of right now. We're trying to make sure everyone's inclusive and nobody is discriminated against. And when these things that aren't true get publicity and they get oxygen, then all of a sudden they grow a life of their own. And that's not what we need right now. We need people to have more compassion and more tolerance and more understanding. And I don't think Steven Jackson's message has come across that way. Now, the reason I think he's struggling with his apologies is because I don't actually think he knows what he's apologizing for yet. That's why I think it's coming across a bit confusing, because he kind of doesn't think that he said anything or done anything wrong. Right. And I think hopefully in these next few days and weeks, he will learn and he will understand what he said was wrong and was hurtful, and that then he will be able to make a more genuine and sincere apology. Because right now it's just this confusing message of like, what the hell are you talking about? And then he's saying, well, it's your fault for being offended. And it's like, no, you're going off on some crazy path here that doesn't make any sense. So that's what I'm hoping to see. Because again, the message right now for the entire world is that we have to get rid of any discrimination and bias against anybody, no matter where they're from, what religion or race they are. We're all in this together. It doesn't help being in this country when you have a president who is one of the worst at fueling these conspiracy theories and creating racial division. He's by far the biggest problem in this country right now, and hopefully he won't be here for much longer. Hopefully he'll be gone in November. But again, it starts with the people, and that starts with us, and it starts with everybody else showing and leading the way that we are trying to make amends for what has been wrong in the past.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone that did write in. There were some really thoughtful, insightful emails that people sent our way. So thank you to everybody that did do so. All right, well, let's get into the up-down report.
Prepare your tundies. It's the up-down report.
Oh, yeah, there's that dubstep. Haven't heard that in a while. All right, first one, guys. The Wizards announced Tuesday that star guard Bradley Beal will not participate in the upcoming restart because of an injury to his right rotator cuff Beal experienced discomfort earlier in the season, which worsened, I guess, here during the 5-month suspension of play. Wizards GM Tommy Shepard said that although he was able to play through the majority of the season with the injury, the layoff did not leave the franchise feeling comfortable that he would have enough time to be ready to perform at this high level. So, Tass, let's start with you. Are you up or down on this shoulder injury being Beal's reason for not playing? Are you buying it, I guess?
Definitely got to go way down on this, and I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory here, right. But Bradley Beal would have played, I do very much believe, if we had a regular season coming up in a regular fashion, if they're playing Washington and then they went into the playoffs, he would be playing. It's a bubble injury, really, that's keeping him out of the situation, and his team's not all that good, and he's very aware that if they go down there, he's going down there to be away from his family for at least a month, probably 6 weeks after the first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
If they were to make it that far and they would be bounced, he understands that. It's similar to Davis Bertans, who decided he wants to focus on signing a contract this offseason. There are bigger motivations for Bradley Beal than trying to do something in the playoffs this year, and that is next year. And that's a sort of a downside of being an NBA fan, that sometimes if you're part of the 6, 7, 8, 9 seeds, if you're a fan of those teams, you know that we don't really have a shot. And I think Bradley Beal is pretty aware of that, and the shoulder may be nagging him. But when did this report start? Only a few days ago. I mean, it wasn't really a story in April or May or June, and that's where it's coming from. It's just that they know they're not going to win.
Lee, you agree?
Yeah, unfortunately, being a big Beal fan, I'm not going to see him. So it's like, there's no point in the Wizards even being there in the first place. And I wonder if the NBA, if they had sort of known this prior, would they have even bothered? I guess maybe because in the West there's a little bit more of a race, a tiny race. But there's no one expects the Wizards to be able to come back and make the playoffs. And even if they do, they're going to get absolutely killed by the Bucks in the first round anyway. So if you're Bradley Beal, he's had a great season. He may garner some MVP votes. I don't know. I mean, he's been so good.
Well, I wonder if he makes All NBA. That's what
I think he's second leading scorer in the league, I believe, right now.
He averaged over 30 points per game.
Yeah, I know. He had an incredible season, but he didn't make the All-Star team either. Remember that. So, people I think kind of said, well, yeah, look, the Wizards don't have anybody else. I mean, that's not entirely true. They have some other good players, but Beal was having a good season. But I think right now he's got to look long term, and it's like to come back and play these games, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for him. I wouldn't want to do it, being away from my family for a meaningless sort of adventure like this. So yeah, I agree with him not going. And sure, the shoulder injury, why not? That's fine.
Yeah, the Wizards sit at 24-40. They're 5.5 games back from the Magic currently for the 8th and final playoff spot in the East. And you would have to be within 4 games to force the Mega Bowl. There's no Bertans. You already said that, Tass. There's no John Wall, of course, still. Now there's no Beal. Yeah, it's a little weird. And whatever. Are they just like, hey, pick a body part? What's a little sore? Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Okay, fine. They shouldn't be there, like you said. We said that right from the jump. No doubt. One of the teams they're chasing are going to be without someone too. They're going to be without a lot of guys, actually. Nets guard Spencer Dinwiddie, he also announced this week he's not going to join the team in Orlando after testing positive again for the coronavirus. So that brings the Nets up to 4 players out due to the virus or COVID-19 concerns in the lead up here to the resumption of play. Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, Taurean Prince, and Wilson Chandler. We know they have no Kyrie, no KD yet, playing in a Brooklyn Nets uniform. They don't really have anybody. Though they did sign some people. We'll get to that in a second. But here's my question. Lee, you can get us started here. Are you up or down on the NBA just stepping back and going, yeah, the Wizards are missing a lot of guys. Nets are missing a lot of guys. Are you up or down on them just merging those two teams together, Survivor style?
Big up on that. Why not? Why not just see what you can get out of this team? I mean, obviously it wouldn't happen, but again, it's a bit of an experiment. Get a few of those guys out there playing, and maybe they can put one decent team together between them, because right now neither of those teams, I mean, look, the Nets, maybe they don't win a game and maybe the Wizards somehow win 7 and becomes a race there. That'd be great. But this is the chance to experiment a little bit, and you could probably even combine this team without telling people as well, and not a whole lot of people would notice. They'd just go, oh, that guy's on the Nets now. Oh, is he on the, I thought he was on the Wizards. No, he's on the Nets, so yeah, it's again, it's just it doesn't look great, I think, when, again, the Nets are missing so many of their players already, and now other guys are just sitting out because they don't, it's for cautionary reasons, which I understand. That's a smart decision from Spencer Dinwiddie, but it just kind of makes now these last 8 regular season games, again, look a bit pointless, really. I mean, what's the point of even playing them, particularly when you've got the Eastern Conference where, six of those teams really aren't even going to have any say of what happens in the playoffs. So I think I just think this is where the NBA would have been better off trying the 1 through 16 experiment, or at least just starting with the playoffs straight away, so that maybe you don't get this situation. Maybe if they were in the playoffs and they were going straight there, maybe someone like Dinwiddie and Jordan would play. I'm not sure, but it's just we just don't need these regular season games, and this is more evidence of that.
Yeah, the reason why I do like the regular season games is that guys actually get to play in game situations, but they're obviously pretty pointless other than the dollar bills. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. They're playing these 88 games, these quote-unquote seeding games before the playoffs, because the regional networks have to get to a certain amount of games aired on their televisions to get the money to their teams, and so that's how they're getting paid. And yeah, it's a little nuts to see the Wizards and the Suns down there, and it's a little weird that the Wizards and the Nets are on the Celtics schedule, for instance. They've got a far easier schedule now that Bradley Beal is out and all these guys are out on the Nets. And that's why the setup for the 2-seed battle is pretty interesting in the Eastern Conference. The Raptors are up 3 games on the Boston Celtics, but Boston has 2 gimmies in the Wizards and the Nets, and then they have 1 game against the Raptors, and the Raptors don't have any of those gimmies. So, if the Celtics win all 3 of those, they win the tiebreaker, and that makes it interesting. And if you win the 2-seed, you are playing the Magic, or one of these teams, the Nets or the Wizards, probably just the Nets actually, but it's probably going to be the Magic because they have their team. They got on the bus from Orlando, and we're one of the first teams in Orlando. What are you guys doing? Why don't you go chill for a couple more days? Be like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, which is a very interesting scenario actually.
What, them not getting on the team flight and arriving later?
And there's why
do you say it's interesting?
Because our Shams Charania reported on The Athletic, Russell Westbrook, James Harden didn't make the trek. Usually there would be an addendum. They failed the corona test. There is a reason that they're not there. No reason provided other than, my brain goes to, they're superstars and they don't want to go this early. And they say, hey, let's just show up on June or July, 20th. We'll quarantine for a couple days, and then we'll get into practice. We don't need to be there that long.
It sounds like Tass Mellis arriving for a flight. It's like, we don't need to be there a half hour and grab some pizza with Lee. I'll just show 1 minute before that flight's leaving.
Good move. Hey, smart move, Harden and Westbrook.
But JD, what do you think of this Survivor style? Like, should we get Probst down there in Orlando? Have Ish Smith, Garrison Matthews for the Wizards show up, and there's a couple of the Nets, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris. They all sit down and have a feast and really just become one. We give them some paint and a flag. They can rename their team, whatever they want. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, it'll be awesome. And by the way, guys, at that feast, make sure you look for the advantage, because there's always an advantage at the feast.
What would be the advantage? Like just the best shoes or something like that? Or I don't know what it would be.
You can steal somebody's shoes maybe, or who knows?
Oh, yeah, maybe you can play something that if that team makes it to the 8th seed, Giannis can't participate in a game or two in the first round of a series.
Yeah.
Something there. All right, well, I'm up with this idea as well. Just merge the 2 teams together. They shouldn't even be there, for crying out loud. But merge them together and it could be fun. All right, our next one, sticking with the Nets. Because they're scrambling here to refine replacement players, they made 2 moves this week. They reportedly signed 40-year-old guard Jamal Crawford and 31-year-old forward Michael Beasley. Now, Crawford hasn't played in the NBA since April 2019, when he scored 51 points for the Suns against the Mavericks, in his final game. And Beasley's last game was February 2019 for, Lee, a little trivia question.
Not the Lakers, I don't think.
Yeah, no, it was
the Lakers.
It
was
was the Lakers. And then he got traded and waived, I think. Was it to the Clippers? I think?
Yeah, so I knew he got traded, but I thought he played with someone else, but you're right.
So, Tass, are you up or down on the Nets signing these two guys, Jamal Crawford and Michael Beasley, on the Nets?
Oh, God, I love it. I am way up. It's crazy, but the Nets are more interesting to watch now than they have would have been with all their players. I know it's weird to say that. Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie, great player, probably gives them a better chance to win, but I'm on record as saying if they got that 7 seed, they still would have got swept by the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors would have had their first sweep in franchise history. They weren't going to win anything anyways. You got Jamal Crawford and Michael Beasley. Yeah, we're going to watch iso ball for a little bit, and I think it's actually more interesting, which is nuts to say. A 40-year-old guard and Michael Beasley, who's been out of the league, and actually won't be able to play in the first 5 seeding games because he's going to be suspended, and they signed him anyways, which is nuts. But I guess he's Kevin Durant's good friend, and people are, claiming that Kevin Durant wanted him on the team, and Sean Marks, GM of the Nets, says, "Hey, we're just getting the best guy available." Crawford and Beasley signed. Nick Young's got to go somewhere next, but I think they're more interesting to watch. I know it sounds dumb to say, but maybe they would have won 1 game with Spencer Dinwiddie and DeAndre Jordan and Wilson Chandler, and now they're probably going to win 0.
Yeah, Tass is wise to point that out. Beasley will have to serve a 5-game suspension for violating the NBA's anti-drug policy last August. So he'll play in a couple seeding games and then maybe in the playoffs. But what do you think, Lee?
Yeah, that's pretty desperate stuff from the Nets, though, isn't it? Like, I'm only good for maybe 3 or 4 games. That's fine. We need you. We need anyone.
We could use it.
The most shocking thing for me is that Beasley's only 31. Like, he's been around since the 2008 draft. So, I mean, I guess he was drafted when he was 19, but it just feels like he's a lot older than that.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you think 31, a lot of players are kind of in their prime or pretty close to it at that point. He sort of feels like he's been to China for a few years. He's been back in the league, and now he hasn't played for a couple of years, and he's back, and he's only 31. So, but yeah, Crawford, when we had him on the show a few years ago, I remember, still just looks in incredible shape, and he's ready to go. So he won't need too many warm-up
Looks good in a
games.
dress shirt.
he won't need sort of too much acclimatization. He'll be ready to go out there and just start firing away. And that's the thing. I mean, we talked the other day about guys getting 50. I mean, I know he had 50 in his last game in a bit of the last game of the season against the Suns. I think it was last season. I don't think he's going to get 50, but that I can see Crawford easily getting a couple of 30-point games out of this because A, they don't have many players, and B, he's just a flat-out scorer. So
he's a walking bucket. He scored 51 when he was on the Suns versus the Mavericks.
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. Yeah.
But I'm with you. We were debating, hey, is anybody going to score? I guess the line was 55.5, right, Tass?
Yeah.
That was for the seeding games. You could bet on, yes, someone will go 56 or more, or no way. And we were debating, like, what? Somebody's not going to score that much. Or, Trey and I were like, it's going to happen. This helps Trey and I's case. I mean, he could do it. He honestly could do it, despite being 40 years old. The guy just, he can score. And when he's on, he is on. So, and he might have a go at it, too. Like you were saying, with their lack of players, and especially lack of offensive talent there. Hell, Karis LeVert might even go for 50. There's not a lot of other guys.
He had a 50 this year, didn't he, Karis LeVert?
He did. So,
So, and so I wonder how long the starters bump lasts, because we've claimed for years that people come on our show, couple weeks later, go out and have a great game.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jamal Crawford has been on our show, Lee. They also have Justin Anderson that they signed as a replacement player, also been on our show a very long time ago. So I don't know, does the starters bump last 8 years? Because Justin Anderson's he's gonna show up. They signed 22-year-old Dante Hall. Just a bunch of guys out there that no one's gonna know, but yeah, maybe Jamal Crawford goes off against the team because they're not really expecting much from the Brooklyn Nets, and they take that seeding game off, and we'll get a show.
Oh, I hope so. When did we have Jamal Crawford on, Lee? Do you remember? Does anybody remember?
I mean, it must be 3 years ago now.
Oh, so he was still playing. That's
because he was
Clipper.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't. We didn't nominate him for Sixth Man of the Year, but I think he won it actually that year.
You might be right.
Because I think he called us out on the show.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. Okay, good call. All right, so the Nets got Jamal Crawford and Michael Beasley. Well, you're right. Tass is right. I mean, it does make them more of a must-watch for me, just because I'm curious. See what those two guys can do. All right, our next one here. Well, we already know where Lee stands on this one, but I wanted to hear from Tass and JD. JD, we'll start with you. Are you up or down on Magic Johnson admitting that he has someone else send his tweets for him?
Is So he said that he was basically telling somebody what to say and writing it down for him. Yeah.
Yes. That's what he said to Rob Lowe.
Right. Is that person Siri?
Is that person Siri? No, I'm not sure.
Listen, I'm down on this because whether it's Siri or a personal assistant or whoever, you're just throwing them under the bus. You're dictating whatever you're saying. Do you blame your keyboard for whatever you tweet? I mean, it's stupid. And by the way, if there is a human that's doing this, you need to replace that person, Magic. You need to replace him or her with my man Lee Ellis.
Yeah, but see, I don't think anyone needs to change anything with Magic's tweets. I think they are perfect, and they will continue to be perfect because.
You don't think they've lost some magic though, knowing this? Peeling back the curtain a little bit, Lee.
I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't want to take too much credit for sort of exposing Magic's tweets on the tweet of the week, but I think I gave them life, and people. I don't know. People just enjoy Magic because I think it was Harrison Fagan wrote yesterday from Silver Screen and Roll that Magic is kind of like the only guy watching TV and he's telling everyone sort of what's happening as if no one else can see what's going on. And I think that's kind of perfect.
It is way more fun to picture him lying in his bed with his phone just tweeting away in the middle of the night.
Let me just pick one out here at random, okay?
Sure. All right, read us one.
The Lakers losing Avery Bradley is a tough loss and will make it more difficult for them to win the NBA championship.
Right. Fair point. I mean, at least that's actually for him. That's a bit of a take. Like someone.
But do you think maybe someone's there in the room and they're saying, and the news comes through and Magic just says that and someone's like, all right, I'll just tweet that out. It's just a comment, whatever. Who cares? And
I think he says it, or he thinks it first, then he says it out loud, and then goes, "That'd be a good tweet." Hey, man, you tweet that. That's what I think happens. But he's always, every second or third tweet, I've said this before, is he always says like me and Cookie. Cookie and I. Cookie's around him here all the time, his wife. They're always thanking people for the parties and stuff like that. There's usually like a great photo attached to it. But Tass, what do you think? Are you up or down on now knowing that Magic isn't the one actually, putting it into his phone or his computer?
Way down. I agree with you, Skeets, in that, you're breaking down the fourth wall a little bit here. Yeah. And it's sort of like the Iron Sheik when he was tweeting a lot of dumb stuff.
Right.
And it was a report, a full-blown article revealing that it was two guys tweeting all his really stupid tweets. And then that just changed everything. But I think...
But hold on. Those were people doing a parody of the Iron Sheik. Or were they with the Iron Sheik?
Well, I think they got the approval of the Iron Sheik.
Oh.
No, they were in cahoots. It was like Iron Sheik wasn't dictating every little thing, I don't think, but it was, Iron Sheik doing stupid stuff, and then these guys, I think they did a little bit of a collab with Iron Sheik. They're like, hey, Nikolai Volkov isn't around, we'll be your tag team partner. But I don't think, JD, that he would approve of somebody just going, freewheeling and writing whatever they want. He wants a yes man in that role.
Yeah, exactly. And that to me is the problem.
Well, maybe, what about this one, Jade? I found another one here from Magic. You tell me if you think this is straight from Magic or someone else has written it. Just finished watching two of my favourite movies of all time, The Negotiator and Absence of Malice. I've seen both of them multiple times because they have great storylines, multiple A-list actors, and are extremely well written.
You know what? It's genius. I take it back.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, now I'm starting to think, does it make it more hilarious that there's someone else actually writing it in his voice? Because he's, in theory, telling them to write it. I don't know now. Now I'm torn.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Magic Johnson's Twitter account. It's giving us so much good content. All right, we got a lot more up-downs to throw some thumbs on, but before we do, a quick word from our sponsors.
With our return to YouTube this week, a few people have pointed out to me that they've noticed my hair is looking a bit unruly, and it's true. I won't deny it. I haven't been to see my hairdresser Kay, lovely lady she is, in months. At first it was bothersome, but I'll be honest, lately I'm kind of digging the scruffy look again. Takes me back to my early 20s when the grunge look was all the rage. So while I've been letting things go up top, let me tell you, I've been keeping it a little tidier down below thanks to Manscaped, because no one likes a mangy scruff south of the border. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit from Manscaped comes with the Essential Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. Look, I'm not trying to get too creative down there, just keeping it neat and tidy like the first day pitch of a test match in cricket. And like the heavy or medium roller used on cricket pitches, you can adjust the settings on your lawnmower to get your line and length just right and keep conditions comfortable for your third man, just as any good groundsman would. And if you've had any trouble with your bouncers after a long day, the Manscaped Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer that will keep you fresh and ready, which is very important if you're called up to be the night watchman. You'll also find the Crop Reviver, a below-the-belt toner that's designed to give you a pep in your step and smell great. It's the sort of ball tampering that won't get you suspended. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code THEATHLETIC at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code THEATHLETIC. And for a limited time, subscribers get not one, but 2 free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag, $39 value, and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. So go to manscaped.com today and use the code THEATHLETIC.
I don't know why that felt like 10 minutes long to me.
Felt longer than a cricket match. A cricket integration in there.
Yes.
Wow. JD, what are you going to do? Are you going to put the cricket music?
Of course
I am.
I'm slacking back and forth with JD while Lee's reading it, saying, hey, are you going to put the cricket music in? Already marked it, JD writes back.
Well, what is a night watchman in the game of cricket? Is there a Jon Snow out there that has to stand there and watch?
No, so what happens is, so in a test match, it goes for multiple days, right? Now, say your team is batting late in the day and you lose one of your key batsmen. What you do is you send in one of the guys lower in the order who all he has to do is basically hold his end up and not go out, and so that he sort of protects one of the higher order batsmen. So he's called the night watchman, so he goes out. Now, the thing is, he has to go out there and bat the next day. You can't sort of then chop him and change him unless he goes out. So the idea being that one of the more prominent batsmen doesn't have to go out there and face a few tricky deliveries and maybe lose his wicket. Instead, someone else will just go out there and kind of dead bat the ball around a bit and not go out. Doesn't always work. Sometimes it backfires because the night watchman goes out. But that's the idea. It's protecting one of the higher order batsmen.
The night watchman. That is a great name for that role. I like that.
Bit of a pinch hitter.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of. Like this guy is not the worst batsman on your team, but he's a lower order batsman. Usually it is a bowler who's just
and he's
just
not
good
playing. So he's not playing the field.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Oh.
he plays. Yeah, it's not the designated hitter in that sense. Like it's a bowler. Usually it's a bowler who's decent enough with a bat that he can survive a couple of overs.
Just put your bat in front of him, man.
Survive.
Yeah. Crazy. What a sport. I love it.
All right, we got another ad here. I have a question, and y'all want to listen to the answer because I've experienced something amazing during the quarantine. If you were to guess, on average, how many days do people in the U.S. have to wait to see a doctor? What would you say, a week maybe?
1 test match length.
I'm not sure how long that is, but on
like 3
average,
months.
people have to wait around 29 days to see a doctor in major U.S. cities, basically a month. But not anymore. I've seen an online doctor for my poison ivy right from my desk chair, and it took mere hours. Pretty badass. And if you're dealing with a serious condition like erectile dysfunction, you want treatment ASAP. That's why our friends at Roman have spent years building a digital platform that can connect you with a doctor licensed in your state, all from the comfort of home. Roman makes it convenient to get the treatment you need on your schedule. Just grab your phone or computer, complete a free online visit, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed physician within 24 hours. It's okay, a lot of people have ED and poison ivy. And if the doctor decides that treatment is right for you, Roman's Pharmacy can ship your medication with free 2-day shipping right to you. You also get free unlimited follow-ups with your doctor anytime you have questions or want to adjust your treatment plan. With Roman, there are no commitments and you can cancel anytime. So if you're struggling with ED, go to getroman.com/nodunks for a free online visit and free 2-day shipping. That's GetRoman.com/NoDunks for a free online visit and free 2-day shipping.
All right, back into the up-down report. While some NBA players seem to be enjoying their hotel rooms in Florida or in Orlando there, Rajon Rondo, maybe not a fan. The veteran guard appeared to express some displeasure on social media this week, sharing a photo of a room. Was it his? Is he even there yet? I'm not sure. But with the following caption, Motel 6, huh? And then the little emoji giving the finger to, again, the room that in theory he would be staying in, or he isn't. So, Tass, you can get us started here. You up or down on Rondo seemingly being upset with his Orlando hotel room?
Down. That room looked all right. It did not look like a Motel 6 room. Having watched videos from various NBA players, saw Serge Ibaka go in his room. His room, way smaller than that room. Evan Fournier, he's got full carpet in his room, unlike Rajon Rondo. There's nothing hiding in your wood or laminate paneling there, Rajon Rondo. Evan Fournier, who knows what's hiding in that carpet? So I'm always of the opinion that you can never tell what people are saying on social media. Like, for instance, Troy Daniels' food photo. We've seen later on the meals are far more elaborate than that, but that's what he really meant. That's what Rajon Rondo really meant. I'm totally convinced that he doesn't like his room. He's already upset. But this isn't up for Motel 6 because their rooms are not as nice as what Rajon Rondo is saying. A Motel 6 room is like, that was a nice photo. And you're right, Skeets, the Lakers got down there yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he was in his room or not.
But why would he put that out there if it wasn't his room?
Yeah.
Well, because I think, he knows the hotel he's staying in. He knows the type of rooms he's staying in. Because I saw Whitney Medworth, she shared photos of the Grand Destino Hotel. They're the exact rooms that he was sharing. So again, I don't know if it's his actual photo or just one he found on the internet, but that's where he's going to be anyway, Lee, I guess is the answer. But you're right, it's weird. This is just a bad look overall, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bomani Jones tweeted it, and he summed it up perfectly. I love this. Quote, Bomani Jones, remember, everyone judges how nice a hotel is compared to where they live. Okay? No one wants a hotel that isn't as nice as their house. Also remember, though, nobody wants to hear this from the rich dude. You got to take that L quietly. He ain't wrong. You have both points there. Both points. For a lot of us, we look at that room and go, damn, that's a nice room. I guess Rondo maybe looks at it and goes, this sucks. My house is way better than this. I don't know. But also, if that's the case, don't let everybody know that. Just keep it quiet, man. Not now. We got people going in there risking their lives to make a goddamn basketball tournament or whatever playoffs happen. We have some laughs with it all and all that with the food and the hotel rooms, but it's just not a good look.
No, especially not from Rondo. Like.
So what? LeBron could do it?
No, what I'm saying is, if LeBron went in and his room was, just a mess and it was untidy and it was cramped, and it's like you could say, well, you gotta understand that this is LeBron. That he has a bigger voice. If you're Rondo, it's like, Rondo, come on, man, you're lucky to even be there. Let's be honest. And the only thing I'll disagree with what Bomani said to take this L, it's like this is not even an L. This is fine, man. Like, if you can't live in those conditions, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, the hotel room was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And Rondo just shouldn't be. He's not in a strong enough position to be able to complain about it when there is nothing wrong with that room. So yeah, weak, very weak source.
There was a lot of room. You're saying there was a lot of room in that room, Lee, for you to do your yoga, to get your microwave that you called up from the hotel lobby.
Yep. Okay. And you know what? If they said we don't have one, I'd say, you know what? That's fine. I'll cope without it. But
right.
There's enough room. There's enough room. You would leave. There's enough room for me and Matt to do our bar threes together. So that's fine with me. Right. That's all you need. Yeah.
JD, what do you think? Sorry, Tess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we got to make Rondo, take it easy. It's a nice room. I don't know what he expects. Like, what is he looking for? What more could he want? Like a waterfall? Like what?
A suite. You think LeBron gets a suite?
Yeah, he should too. He's LeBron. I mean, like there are a few suites in hotels like that. A few more exclusive suites. Yeah. Those are reserved for guys like LeBron. I mean, there's no question about it. That's the way it should be too, you know? I mean, and that's the way I'm sure it's good. And again, even if LeBron wasn't in a suite, I don't think you're going to see him complaining about his room anyway. He's not going to say, oh man, I can't believe they've put me here, because they wouldn't. They'd take care of him.
Most people are having fun down there. Lou Williams walked into his room showing his setup, looking good. Patrick Beverley already has a sage plant in his room. Is it sage? I don't know. That's what he said.
Well, there's no testing down there, so we won't know.
Exactly. People are having fun. Evan Fournier is having a great workout video. We'll talk about that. And
I think it was Maxi Kleber had a big dance party going.
Yeah, they were doing the fake DJing out on their balconies, all the Mavericks. Yeah, no, you're right.
And check Serge Ibaka's room. That thing is tiny. And he also has it's a room that traditionally has two beds, and you can see the headboard for both beds, but one bed has been removed. And so it looks like duty. I mean, it doesn't look good, especially Serge Ibaka's filming wasn't all that good. But he could complain if he really wanted to. He could say, "Hey, let's get a room with one bed, gives me a little bit more space." That it's like half the size of whatever Rajon Rondo's photo was. So, Serge, you can complain. You're allowed. You're part of the championship Raptors. You're allowed to.
Let's hear from you guys. Up or down on, again, Rondo seemingly being upset with his Orlando hotel room. Are we jumping to conclusions with that? I don't know. Maybe you tell us. All right. Well, sticking with the players arriving down there in Orlando, we're getting glimpses, like you said, Tass, of life inside this bubble. On Tuesday, Magic teammates Evan Fournier and Terrence Ross, they showed us their welcome gift bags, courtesy of the league. There was a lot inside these things. I mean, there's tons of snacks, there's books, there's blankets, there's a phone charger, a speaker, a Bluetooth keyboard, a Fire TV stick, a coloring book, a silverware case, more. There's more.
Lego? Any Lego in there?
There was no Lego. That would have been smart. That would have been very smart. But JD, we'll go with you here. You saw the video. Are you up or down on this NBA bubble welcome gift bag?
Yeah, well, first of all, go watch the whole video. It's like 10 minutes long on Evan's Instagram page. Mo Verney would be so proud of him.
Oh, it's so good. It's so funny.
It is such a great hotel walkthrough. We didn't get to see the safe, I don't think, but we did see the bathroom, the toilet, and the raised shower head, which was great, that he pointed out in French. Secondly, I'm down in general on gift bags for guys who make $17 million a year. In general, it's just, I don't know, it's like, why? These guys make enough money. But on the other hand, they're entering a bubble for our entertainment, so give them whatever. But I'm way up on this gift bag, mostly because of Evan Fournier's enthusiasm in unboxing it.
Yep.
It's so great. Like the coloring book, I've never seen anybody so excited about a coloring book and pencils. Then the Dawn dish soap comes out and a sponge, and it's just like, okay. But really, it is quite practical. And then the picnic set came out, and I swear to God, I had the exact same reaction as he did. In unison, I was like, "Oh, nice!" At the same time, we said it together. It's just awesome, and just to see a guy that's so happy to be there, in contrast to Rondo, like, it's just a goddamn delight. And then he moves on to another bag, which is full of snacks, snacks, so many snacks. For a professional athlete, I can't imagine. I'm like, God damn, I go through that in a day. And then he goes on to the NBA tote bag, where there's actually some pretty cool stuff in there, like a speaker, speaker lightning, he's called it, a Bluetooth keyboard, and then a thermal blanket with an NBA logo on it, which is like, we're in a heat wave and you're in Atlanta or Orlando, so I don't know.
You're up.
I didn't see it all, JD, but did he show you the bath at all? Did you get a glimpse of the bath?
Oh yeah, you said the bath is normal size, but he did, as I said, made a point of showing the taller shower head, and you can still see the hole where they had to like rip out the old one. So yeah, it's a pretty normal hotel room. I mean, Rondo would hate it.
So you'd be pretty comfortable in that bath.
It does just go to show you, though, it doesn't matter how much money you make. $10 million, $20 million a year. everybody loves free stuff.
It's true.
Yes.
That's what I took from it. He's like, you're right, JD. He's like legit excited. He's like, whoa, a Bluetooth keyboard.
Yeah.
He could buy millions of those. But he's like, this is cool. It's free. All right, I'll give this a go in here. Tass, what'd you think of the gift bag?
Well, I thought he kind of got bored when it came to the Bluetooth keyboard and the joystick. What else? There's some other gaming something. He loved the coloring book, and then it sort of he's like, oh, Bluetooth keyboard. Huh.
I thought he was a little more excited than that. He's like, oh.
Well, he is ridiculously happy. He made a 10-minute video that's edited so well, puts Mulverney to shame.
Yeah.
That video is incredible. There's like, this is the time that they as players should be improving on their social media abilities and working on their editing skills. And I'm not sure if Evan just fires off all that footage to somebody and somebody else does it, but yeah, it was great watching him work out, breaking out the TRX, doing the push-ups on that dirty carpet. And if there's anybody that should be complaining about their hotel rooms, it's the guys who live down the road. All these guys got on a bus ride from Orlando, from their, I guess it was the arena or their practice arena, and came down here, and their houses, they can like throw something
See
to
their house? There's my
Fr-
mansion over there.
Yeah, from the bubble. They should be complaining, but Evan Fournier, as we've said, delighted to be in that room. He's pumped, and and that's gonna rub off on each other, right? I mean, that's about that. You know, the attitude is everything in terms of their team. Like, that's gonna rub off on each other, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're pissy all the time, that's gonna be interesting to see the effect on that. So far, Evan, T. Ross, he told T. Ross to shut up in the hallway. Right at the beginning of that video.
Yeah, you're right. He was yelling. He saw Ken Burge, who was making fun of him for having 3 suitcases. Then you're right. Then there's yelling from Ross. He tells him to shut up. Yeah, the camaraderie's high, I think, on the Magic.
Yeah, it is.
It's very funny. What'd you think, Lee?
Yeah, what I really want to do now is see JD do a Mulverney hotel room tour next time we go in a hotel. I think we have to now, JD. We absolutely have to. But also, Mo has been out of the game for a while, so now that the standard's been raised, I think Mo's going to, next time he goes on a trip, he's going to show us what he can do. So that's what I'm looking forward to. You know, the challenge, the hotel room tour now is something that is going to be must watch. So
it could be that we're so starved for hotel room tours.
Yeah.
It's like giving a cracker to a starving guy on a desert island, right? It was just, but I loved it. I couldn't believe it. And Lee, you got to upgrade your bar 3. You got to get the gear that Evan was using in his room. It was awesome.
Wow, yeah. I'll have to check it out. If they have a core ball and a roller and some weights and some elastic bands, then you can do it all.
Chin up bar, looking good.
I saw that Terrence Ross, he had a video too where he was showing the sort of the NBA Players Lounge, where they have the video games and they had some arcades and they had ping pong tables and all of that stuff. Looked pretty nice. Though I did point out, on the ping pong table, there was 4 paddles. And we know that doubles are prohibited. So that seems like a trap. Like, don't fall for that, guys. Like, get rid of 2 of those immediately, or at least put them to the side so that you can swap them out, and then you can clean the other ones while, you got this tournament going on of ping pong.
Yeah.
But,
and if you're wearing your Oorah ring playing doubles, you're going to be beeping every 2 seconds because you can't be within 6 feet of somebody before your Oorah ring beeps.
Right, and the arcade machines that they had lined up, I mean, they look great. There was like a Showtime one. They're all in a back corner, but there's no way they're separated by 6 feet. So is only one guy allowed to be playing the arcades? One machine at once? Like, they can't play 4 players. I mean, you can't play 4, double ping pong, then you can't play 4-player on Showtime. So, anyway, hilarious stuff. Make sure you go watch all these videos. They're very, very funny. All right, our next one. Let's go to football here for a sec. This week, the Chiefs and Super Bowl MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes reached an agreement on a 10-year contract extension that ties him to Kansas City through the 2031 season. The deal, reportedly worth $450 million over the 10-year period, could be worth up to $503 million. And the extension includes a $140 million injury guarantee as well as a no-trade clause. This is wild. Tass, football, up or down on the Chiefs signing Mahomes to the largest contract for an athlete in sports history?
Wow, it's the largest contract in sports. I'm up. Nobody wants to be giving out money in the NFL right now. Dak sitting on the sidelines waiting for his deal. I'm happy for Patrick Mahomes. Undoubtedly happy for that guy. Only 1 year in the league. We know what we got. Let's give it to him. Yeah, I'm happy for him. And he could have gotten, apparently, I don't really understand how the cap situation works, but he said he took less than he could have per year because he didn't want to be the guy that took all the dollars. So he legitimately said, I don't want to be the guy that, reduces our chance of getting other guys on this team. So I'm going to be the good guy. So I don't know. I really like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know much about him, but I'm on his side.
Lee, what'd you think?
Sure, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's not exactly my wheelhouse here, but the problem I see with football is like the quarterback you can sign for 10 years. Would any other player get a 10-year contract on a football team? Because they usually have like a 2 or 3 year window, don't they, where they're sort of good and then, they get beaten up all the time. So, you look at guys like Tom Brady, I think he's 42, and he's still playing because, the quarterbacks get protected by everybody. So they're fine. Mm-hmm. But it's the other guys who get mashed when they go out there. So, fine. Have it, enjoy it.
Well, here's the question I wanted to throw at you, Lee. Which NBA star would you sign to this type of money? 10-year deal, $500 million right now. So you're not going to do LeBron, of course, because even if you think he's invincible, he's older. Well, who'd you go?
Oh, Giannis. I guess he's 20? Is he 25? I believe Giannis.
Yes, 25.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you got Zion, of course, Ja Morant, and some of those younger guys, but proven product already and I think he'll still be good. In certainly 8 of those years, anyway, I would say, yeah. I mean, still.
Why 8 of those years?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, if he's 35, 36. I mean, LeBron's 35 and he's still playing well. So, yeah, Giannis, as long as he takes care of himself, and I see no reason why he wouldn't, I think he'd still be getting return on that contract in 10 years' time.
Okay, so Giannis. I would agree with that one. Tass, I assume you do too. What about Luka? He'd probably be on the list, short list. Super young guy, already like an MVP candidate?
Yeah, I would. There's so much talk about Zion, even Luka as the young guys in this league. I think
Zion, I don't think you can lock in because of injury.
I agree.
Right?
But, he's on the NBA 2K21 cover. It's almost like Giannis is being overlooked already, maybe because Zion is a ratings beast, or just because people want to jump on the new thing. But it is like Giannis is being overlooked in the young guy conversation, and he's 25 and he's an MVP, and he's a young 25 because he started a little bit late playing ball. So I would jump on that. He'll probably help out the Greek economy as well, indirectly. So right. I would take Giannis over Luka, because I understand it's the three-man's game, the three-balls game right now. But no matter what happens with the game, if it starts to go towards the inside a little bit, Giannis will be even better. I think he'll be good in all iterations of the game. And look, Luka's going to be good for 10 years too.
Yeah.
But we're talking MVP right here.
Congrats to Mahomes. What a deal. Unbelievable. All right, a couple more here. According to Eric Walden of the Salt Lake Tribune, Utah Jazz reserve center Tony Bradley said he unintentionally put on a bunch of muscle during the NBA's hiatus, and that he's been getting compliments for, quote, leaning up. So here's my question. Are you up or down on your quarantine bod? JD, up or down?
Well, I just worked out, so I'm still feeling the buzz, the endorphins are flowing through me. I feel strong. I feel sore, but strong, so I'm up. But that's going to wear off as soon as I eat lunch or something. As soon as I eat something, I'm back to fat guy again. I just hating myself. So, but right now I'm up.
Okay. Yeah, you and Tass, right before we jumped on here to record this podcast, guys were looking a little, well, let's be honest, a little wet. Like you had either just gotten out of the shower, in your case, JD, or you had just gotten back from a run. In Tass's case, Tass was looking real shiny. I'm like, what the hell's going on over there? Your AC broke? You're like, just got back from, what'd you say, 4-mile run? Something like that?
Yeah, 4 miles. I was doing.
So you must be feeling good about the bod?
Feel great. Yeah, I'm pulling a Chris Webber right now. I'm still a little wet right now, sweating doing my job here. But, that'll go away. It's true. I fluctuate like JD. It's just so easy to eat at home when you're just around food.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But yeah, I had some salmon last night. I had some salmon like I'm Damari Carroll. Some salmon. So I'm feeling good. Just have some salmon for lunch, JD.
Yeah, I am having salmon for lunch, and I had salmon last night for dinner. But it's the fat pills. It's the chocolate-covered almonds that Rachel keeps buying at Costco.
Costco.
Oh, my God.
Costco.
Yeah. Costco.
All right, so these guys are putting in the work, Lily. What about you? How you feeling about the bod?
Down big time, man.
Oh,
big time
no.
down. I can't get into a routine at all. Like for me, doing the bar 3 was always in the morning when the kids are out of the house. Roxana's working, so I've got some free time and free space. But now the kids are in the house all the time. Roxana works downstairs, so the only sort of empty rooms are one of their bedrooms, just not big enough, or our bedroom just don't want to work out there. So I can't.
It's like a Motel 6.
It is. So I can't get into it. And the same thing, like I just find I non-stop snacking and nibbling and eating things that I just wouldn't normally eat. And you know, the problem I'm having as well is the meat consumption. You know, I'm just oh man, I'm a failing vegetarian badly because you know, like I've been trying to avoid you know, having grills, but the weather's great. You know, there's a couple of neighbors who are like, let's get the grill. They bring food, and you're like, yeah, sure, what the hell. And but the other day I was out walking past this guy who was grilling his own ribs. And you know that scene in Finding Nemo where Dory like kind of gets a little bit of blood and it goes up into Bruce the shark's nose. Bruce is the he's basically like he's a reformed fish eating alcoholic, and then he smells the blood and he goes mad.
Yeah.
I smelled those ribs and I'm like, oh God, I gotta go get some, man. I gotta get some ribs back on the grill. They were just so good. They're just that scent got me. So yeah, I'm just. It's tough. I tell you, it's been tough. Can't get a really good, like, I get a sweat in just because it's so damn hot down here, but it's not one of those workout sweats. So it's like
just because you're hot.
Yeah, you go outside and it's so humid, and you come back inside after 5 minutes. It's like you've been out for a run or you've been working out for an hour. So yeah, not good. Not good at all.
Sorry to hear that, man. Well, you look great. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell. You're like Tony Bradley, man. You're just falling into it. Yeah, you're just fit, man. You're just fit. I was impressed, Taz. Like I was saying right before we recorded, I was like, God, it's stinking hot here in Atlanta today. I mean, it's always hot in the summer in Atlanta, but it was like it went up a gear today, and it's going to be into next week. And I was like, kudos, Taz. Way to get out there, get those miles in. Because the longer the day goes on, the less likely I am to get out there. That's for sure.
You got to get out there early.
Yeah.
It's a battle of time. It's like the Spurs in the 2013 finals. You got to beat the Heat. You got to beat out there. That's a shout out to our man Stefan.
Yeah.
He's always beating the Heat.
Yeah, he's always beating other things too, I think. All right. Final one. This week, we made our triumphant return to YouTube. JD, 2 days in a row, my man. Got the YouTube video going.
What a streak. What a streak.
Is it a streak if it's 2? We've had this conversation before.
No, it's not. No, it's got to be 3 to me. So we'll see if this makes its way to YouTube. But here's an interesting little question off of this. We've obviously been posting the video of us recording this podcast. We're on Zoom and we post it to YouTube. Does that mean that if you watch that, you can say you've watched a podcast, Lee? And Tass, I want you to answer first before we get to Lee. Are you up or down on watching a podcast?
Yeah, I am. Everybody's doing it, and yeah, you get the visual aspect. I'm into it more watching our podcast that JD has put up, and it looks friggin' fantastic and sounds friggin' fantastic.
You're into it more.
Yeah, I'm into it more. Yeah. I want to see your face.
All right.
I want to see your beard. I want to see Lee's hair. I want to see JD's bed for sure.
This bed is half made, just out of frame. It's a complete disaster.
What is that's like? Oh no, he's panning. Look at this. Where are you? You're in the basement, right?
I mean, yeah, it's our bedroom.
Guest room. That's your bedroom or your guest bedroom?
We moved down to the basement.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh man, you're living in the basement.
We're living in the basement, and it was great because we had a floor separating us and the kids. We gave the kids the entire upstairs, but they have slept in this room for the last 3 months every single night.
What do you mean?
They've been sleeping down here.
What, on the ground?
Yeah, they've got little mattresses over here. And they just...
Well, is this because it's cooler down there, or
It's
just 'cause they wanna be
cooler.
close to you?
It's cooler, and it's summer vacation, and they've been watching movies and stuff, and it's just a really bad habit that we got into.
I was going to say.
It's still happening.
All right. Kudos to you, but wow. Gave them a whole floor on the top floor of your house, and there they are sleeping with
They
you the
haven't
last
been
3
up there in
months.
months.
Yeah, living in the basement, JD, riding a skateboard again. Feeling young, baby.
You're going to be staying up watching scrambled porn. You'll find that channel.
Gotta get a neon Budweiser sign and put it somewhere in there.
Where's the lava lamp?
Lee, so Tass is up. He likes watching it. What about yourself?
Yeah, I enjoy watching when JD makes ours dance like he does. It's great, because it's not just like watching guys like we're seeing each other right now, just our heads. JD adds those little elements when we're talking about things, and that's what makes it enjoyable. That's what just makes the difference. So
Sure.
that's what I like about it. JD makes it sexy, and that intro for beach stepping is the sexiest intro you've seen. That's worth watching the rest of the show just for that alone.
Well, until we see the guy's feet walking in the sand. That always makes me want to gag a little bit, but it is beach stepping. See, I'm down on this. Not on ours. JD's doing phenomenal work, and a lot of people like it, obviously, yourself included, it sounds like you guys. But I don't love the concept of watching a podcast, but because my favorite thing about listening to podcasts is I can be doing something else. That's my favorite part. I can be going for a run. I can be doing the dishes. I can be walking around my backyard like a weirdo picking up sticks. I can be doing things while I'm also listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook, something like that. I love multitasking, man. I love it. Yeah. So you got to watch it. Now I'm just watching it. Now it's just like watching TV.
But I think people do things while they're watching the YouTube show.
Well, then you're not really watching it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, right?
That's
but
fine.
do you need to watch? It's not like you have to consume every single frame of this show, right? Like, if somebody's talking about, like I just referred to my bedroom, that's when you look up from the dishes and you look and see, right?
So you're saying it's like watching a baseball game.
Exactly.
It's like you have it on, you're doing other things. Mm-hmm. Oh, you hear the crack of the bat and the crowd roars. And, right. Oh, now I'll look up. Oh, that's oh, nope, just a deep fly ball to center field. Never mind. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's hear from you guys out there. Are you enjoying watching our podcast on YouTube? Do you watch other podcasts on YouTube? Does it even count as watching a podcast if you're doing other things? Oh, man. So many questions. Let's call it there, though. Fun up, down. If you've got suggestions, topics you want to see in the next up, down, let us know. Email us, along with your questions and comments for Beach Steppin' to nodunks@theathletic.com or tweet them in at NoDunksInc. That was a fun week. Are we hoping to get Poppin' Packs up as a little bonus podcast this weekend?
That's the plan. I'm going to work on that after this.
Okay, excellent. So just make sure you're subscribed to No Dunks wherever you download and listen to podcasts, and you'll get that fun little surprise. If you haven't already watched the video, Lee and James Worthy popping a pack of old cards. What cards were you doing? Early
they were,
90s?
I can't remember, Fleer, I think they were.
91, 92?
91, 92 Fleer. And I will say, a little tease for next week, got a Hall of Famer locked in for next week too.
Look at this guy. Look at this. So you must be having to say no to people now. Sorry, 3-time All-Star, I've got the Hall of Famer coming up.
Well, I'm not saying no to people, but the ones who are saying they're in and then they ghost me, I'm not having to follow up with again. So that's not too bad at this point. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Good.
All right,
it's going to be on Tuesday, though. It's going to be a Throwback Tuesday.
You got Throwback Tuesday, Way Back Wednesday, Flashback Friday, Throwback Thursday. What's Monday if you pull one?
I did one on a Sunday with Kenny Anderson. That can be... what can that one be?
Slipping Back in Time Sundays. Who knows? All right, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, watching Evan Fournier work out with the chin-up bar, looking good. All I could think was TRX, what you really want. I got nothing, man. I got nothing. I need this. I need this.
Embrace the weekend, people. Embrace the weekend.
You could stay